Do you know the place where modern-day humans spend most of their time at? Some might say it's work, while others might say it's school. However, under the hood, they're both wrong. In fact, it's not the existing place in the first place. Introducing the Internet. Think about how we used to consume culture. Go back 30 or 40 years. Say a new movie was made in Hollywood. In that case, for these movies to reach foreign countries, it had to be subtitled, translated, shipped across physical oceans, and then finally screened in theaters inside Seoul or Tokyo. The same goes for video games. Say a new game was developed in London. In this case, Eastern players had to wait a full year for a localized cartridge to arrive in their local stores. Media was a physical thing. Massive corporate giants, such as studio executives, radio DJs, or network broadcasting managers, took control of what media was shown to you and when. Due to this isolation, various distinct cultures formed in various parts of the world. At this timeline, the games and movies that you see in the US, London, and Seoul are all different. However, look at nowadays. A device so small, a device that we call a smartphone, that can fit inside of your own hand, is now transforming how our map looks. It is the time of the information age. Previous, or more original, social networking services on the internet relied on something that we call a social graph. Basically, the only friends that you can see on the internet are your friends, your families, and the people you intentionally follow. It was a direct extension of your real-life social circle. However, programs such as Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikTok completely blow up this formula. They introduce something that they call an interest graph. The program doesn't care who you are, it doesn't care where you're from, it doesn't care even you're a boy or a girl. In fact, the only thing that it cares is whether you stayed on the video for 1 millisecond longer compared to another topic. Using this data, the program gives you, out of all of the content in the entire world, what you'd be most interested in, therefore, getting your attention. To understand why modern media looks this way, you first have to understand that media machines aren't neuromaths. They are a hyper-aggressive survival instinct designed to commodify human attention. In this new ecosystem, the algorithm acts as a very automated evolutionary filter. The machine is tracking every action from you, every input, with terrifying precision. It tracks completion rate. Did you actually finish the 15-second video or not? It also checks retention rate. At what exact frame did your thumb swipe away? It measures rewatch rate. Did you loop back the video to catch another hidden detail? And also, it checks interaction metrics. Did you send the video to somebody, copy the link, or maybe post it onto your stories? If a creator drops a new post and everybody swipes away in a few seconds, the algorithm buries it immediately. However, if some celebrity, some editing style, or some music grabs somebody's attention for half a second longer, the algorithm suddenly blasts it out to millions of people worldwide. This is how viral videos are formed, and we call it, in scientific terms, algorithmic homogenization. Creators worldwide have to adapt to these viral changes in order for their content to drive and their channels to survive. They end up copying each other's visual languages, forcing completely different cultures to follow the exact same template. Let's look at how this mass completely disrupted major Western industries, starting with music and entertainment. For decades, the Western entertainment model was built on long-form, linear storytelling. Think of classic YouTube vlogs or traditional music videos. They took their time, built the context, and let the narrative breathe. However, over in East Asia, mobile ecosystems evolved under entirely different marketplace pressures. Platforms like China's Douyin perfected the rapid-fire, short-form, looping mechanic years before it dominated the West. Concurrently, the hyper-competitive K-pop industry in South Korea mastered the art of hyper-visual, smartphone-first production. Their core philosophy revolves around a singular law: 3 seconds or death. When short-form algorithms went global, Western industries experienced a massive cultural shockwave. Because the algorithm ruthlessly penalizes slow pacing, Western creators and media companies had to completely Easternize their style. Look at the music industry today. Major Western pop artists aren't just writing songs for the radio anymore. They're explicitly engineering 15-second, hyper-catchy tracks designed specifically for dance challenges, a pipeline copied point for point from K-pop marketing strategies. Listen to a classic Western pop hit from 2012. It typically takes around 30 to 45 seconds of atmospheric buildup just to reach the chorus. Now, listen to a modern track engineered for the feed. Some famous artists are NewJeans, IVE, or any other Korean artist you can see these days. The beat drops on the second 0, the hook hits within the first 5 seconds, and the entire song is under 2 to 3 minutes long because shorter tracks loop faster, hyperinflating the algorithm's rewatch metrics. Even the food and lifestyle industries got rewired. The global explosion of mukbang culture, which originated entirely as a localized South Korean live streaming trend, became a dominant Western content genre because its hypersensory, close-up ASMR framework is practically cracked to the algorithm's retention metrics. The East essentially taught the West how to strip away the fluff and compress media into pure, instant gratification. But this algorithmic bridge runs both directions. While the West adopted Eastern pacing, Eastern digital spaces rapidly absorbed Western cultural values, specifically hyper-individualism and personal branding. Historically, traditional media in East Asia leaned heavily towards community, collective experiences, and strict privacy. Content was polished and kept a deliberate distance from the creator's private life. Western digital culture, however, is built on the ultimate cult of personality, what we now call main character energy. It's the assumption that your raw, everyday domestic routine is inherently entertainment worth broadcasting. Nothing shows this cultural flip better than the global takeover of GRWM, or Get Ready With Me, aesthetic. This format started in the West as a highly intimate way for creators to film themselves sitting in an untidy room, putting on makeup, and then venting about personal relationships. Just think about the contrast for a second. The traditional Eastern lifestyle blog used to be deeply aesthetic, but completely detached. Think about those classic, cozy, wordless, silent vlogs out of Tokyo or Seoul, where the creator's face is hidden behind beautifully shot cooking montages and soft lo-fi music. The modern global feed completely flipped this. Today, if you search the hashtag ShopGRWM in Douyin or Korean TikTok, you'll see creators in Seoul and Shanghai sitting directly in front of a ring light, tapping acrylic nails against skincare bottles for ASMR value, and trauma dumping directly into the camera. A format lifted point by point from Western beauty influencers. Because the global algorithm rewinds a high watch time driven by these intense sense of artificial intimacy, the format completely shattered traditional Eastern media boundaries. To stay relevant on a global feed, creators in historically preserved societies are systematically pushed by the platform's mass to turn their private lives, their vulnerabilities, and their daily routines into a hyper-commodified, Western-style personal brand.
So, what does this mean for global culture? On one hand, it has completely democratized global visibility. In the old world, people had to pay millions of dollars and had to have a deal with a content distributor in order to reach audiences on the other side of the world. Even in this case, audience was confined to major cities such as Tokyo, London, or New York. However, today, independent creators in their own bedrooms can upload videos with a single click and reach audiences in every single city in the world, such as Seoul, Tokyo, Hong Kong, London, or New York. Algorithms have broken down numerous cultural barriers, giving us an unprecedented exposure to various content all around the planet. However, on the other hand, we are paying a massive price for this optimization. When everyone across the planet relies on the exact same analytics data, exposure, and audience, content is destined to become similar. We are watching a very bizarre algorithm in the global culture. Look at how seamlessly you can scroll between various algorithmic pages and then quickly lose track of geography. You swipe from an American street interview in New York to a British creator in London to a South Korean YouTuber in Hong Kong. Notice how they use the exact same fast-paced whip pan editing style. They all make the exactly same exaggerated facial gestures, and also they use the same sped up audio remixes of the exact same trending pop songs. Even their vocal inflections, the rapid-fire, high-energy cadence designed to prevent you from swiping away, sound similar regardless of the language they're speaking. We are watching an era where media isn't becoming more diverse and interconnected, but an era where media is becoming standardized, flattened, and unified all across the world. The social media algorithm has created a digital Silk Road. However, instead of trading goods, we are trading digital presence and human attention. The algorithm has created a gigantic loop consuming creators and audiences, linking the West with the East in a constant spiral. However, we have to remember that the algorithm is merely an optimization tool. It is not a cultural architect. If we only produce and consume content that a piece of code past optimizes for, we lose the authentic, messy differences that make different cultures worth discovering in the first place. When this video ends, I want you to go onto your favorite social media app, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and just scroll around for a few minutes. I want you to ask yourself this question: does your For You page actually represent yourself, or is it a mirror of everybody else's? Thank you for watching.